Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and we're looking at a puzzle called A Tight Spot by Tundra Lava. Now, Tundra Lava sounds like a very unlikely geographical phenomenon, but we've done a puzzle or two by Tundra Lava before, but a long time ago. The one that springs to mind is one that was based on a tsunami, not a tsunami, a famous Japanese woodcut by Hokusai called The Great Wave off Kanagawa. And I could have got any detail wrong there, including that, well, actually, maybe that wasn't the puzzle by Tundra Lava. Maybe that was by someone else with a similar name. And maybe Tundra Lava did the puzzle that was a very elegant depiction of a yacht. And now I'm just totally confused. What I think I'm not confused by, but I might be, is the title, A Tight Spot. That makes me think of, I hope I'm not the only one, that makes me think of Winnie the Pooh. I think the chapter early in the book Winnie the Pooh, where said bear gets stuck in the entrance to Rabbit's burrow, is called something like In Which Winnie the Pooh Gets Stuck in a Tight Spot. And he has to get out of it by fasting and the elapsing of time, and Christopher Robin pulling him. Anyway, enough about my fading and raddled memory. Let's catch you up on where we are in the course of events. We're streaming on Tuesdays at the moment, and we've just discovered a fabulous game called Islands of Insight. I think Simon's even been in touch with Elliot Grant, who's involved in creating it, which since we streamed the first episode. So that's great. I'm not even sure about that. I may have heard that. Again, my memory. But it's a really interesting game. Do join us on Tuesday evening. Well, 10 o'clock our time will change for those of you in North America, because whatever time it was recently, once you do daylight savings, it'll be an hour in advance because of spring forward, I think. And that'll be for the next 3 weeks till we have our own change of clocks at the end of March. Anyway, that's really thrilling, isn't it? Also, our videos will change times for the next 3 weeks from tomorrow, I think. So be warned about that. Now, what else have we got going on? We've, of course, got all our apps, which are on the links under the video, and include Line Sudoku, a bit like today's, and Domino Sudoku, a bit like today's. They are great fun, super place to practice your Sudoku skills. Another great place is in our Patreon Sudoku Hunt Evening Attractions, which is based on negative constraints. Do check it out. Some very clever people have solved the whole hunt. Be one of those and get in with a chance of a prize by the 20th. Also on Patreon, Simon's incredibly long solve of Emery Colotoglu's incredibly difficult Sudoku. Check that out as well. And while you're in our description field, look at our merchandise and Sven SUDOKU PAD, because they're all great resources. But the first link is to this puzzle called A Tight Spot by Tundra Lava. And I'm going to do the rules now. Normal Sudoku rules apply, so we'll try and put 1 to 9 in every row, every column, and every 3 by 3 box. Digits along a line must be numerically between the digits on the attached circles. So if this was a 3 and this was a 7, every one of these digits on the line would have to be 4, 5, or from 4, 5, or 6. They wouldn't all have to be there. It could be just 4s and 5s, but the numbers on the line have to be between a higher one in one circle and a lower one in the other. We actually get a circle for once with a given digit in it. That's very rare in these between lines puzzles. Cells separated by an X must sum to 10, so those two add up to 10. Those separated by a V sum to 5. Not all of those are necessarily given. Give it a try. I'm going to start now. Without any further ado, let's get cracking. And I don't know where to start, but I'm prepared to bet that that's going to be a 1 and a 9 in those opposite corners. I'm not making bets with you. That's not what we're here for. That's just a prediction of what will unfold. These are obviously low digits on the V. These are digits that include a pair that add up to 10 and a 5. Because in this box we've got 3 pairs that definitely do add up to 10. And the secret of Sudoku is that every row, column and box adds up to the same total, which is 45. The sum of the digits 1 to 9, that's actually in the rules, if you know that sum. And if we subtract those 3 lots of 10 from 45, we're left with 15, which is going to be a 5 and a pair of digits there. And having said that, I've kind of shot my bolt on what I can see about this puzzle. Right, 2 of these X pairs are... Right, here's a good fact about between lines that's really helpful and that I should have thought of first off. 1 and 9 can never go on a between line. Where do 1 and 9 go in box 1? They go in these 2 cells specifically, because they're not on a line. 1 and 9 are very likely to be in circles, and that's probably why I said that they would be there and there, because there's so many digits on that line, it's likely to include most of the other digits. But anyway, here they have to be there and there. This is going to be a fact we can use again. We can use it in this box, can't we? Oh, this actually starts to look impossible. No, it's not impossible. Again, 1 and 9 can't be on a line, so they're not in those cells. Therefore, they're amongst these. Now, this one can't be 1 or 9 because of the X. That would have to be 1 or 9 as well. Impossible. So, 2 of these 3 are 1 or 9. I was very nervous because I didn't want to put 1 or 9 here. But actually, since 2 of these 3 are going to be 1 or 9, at least one of them is on the X. And once one of them is on the X, both of them are on the X. So that is a 1-9 pair. This pair can't have an 8 or a 9 in. It's either 3-7 or 4-6. These pairs will include 2 and 8. Therefore, their circles on that line have to be 1 and 9. Because that's the only way to have 2 and 8 get on the line and have digits outside them, as it were. So this is now a 1-9 pair. This digit is not 1. On the V, that's not 4 opposite it. This is not a 1-9 pair because it's got a line cell on. I'd actually noticed that because of the 1-9 looking at that cell. Okay, that's not the way to do it. Right. This pair is not 1-9 or 7-3. So it's either 6-4 or 2-8. If it's 6-4, this looks threat. Oh, this digit is now not 1 or 9. My earlier bet has lost, nor is this one. We've got a 1-9 pair looking at that. We've got a 1-9 pair looking at that. This also can't be 8. Oh, okay. Well, that's obviously the theme of this puzzle. I imagine this line is in the tight spot. And these digits are going to be much more constrained than I was expecting. I think we'll come to them by and by, as A.A. Milne would have said. Let's do a bit more thinking about 1s and 9s. That's a really interesting revelation. Now, if that was a 9, this would have to be an 8. That would be a 6-4 pair. These digits would be 2, 3, 5. All true, but not helpful. This pair is either 3-7 or 4-6 because it can't have a 1-9 in it and it can't have a 2. If that was a 1, that's a 1, that's a 1. Ooh, then that would be a 1 in column 8. That's quite interesting. Let's just keep pursuing this idea. Because this circle couldn't be a 1, that would be a 1. Interesting, interesting. I'm not quite sure. Wow, I mean, 1 would end up in one of these 2 cells I now see. and on this X, and therefore in one of these two cells. I can't quite rule out that that's a 1. It would be useful to rule it out because that will give us a 2, 3V, but I can't do it, so no joy there. Oh, where should we be looking? I know, this pair is a 1, 9. Now, I know that. There might have been a way of knowing that from just considering lines in this column. That's the easy way. I eschew that way. And there is. Where can 1s and 9s go in this column? Not on a line. Therefore, they must be amongst these 4 cells. Well, they can't both be in this box because there's already one of the 1, 9 pair in that box. So that's the easy way. The way I actually did it was by thinking that each of these 3 X's contain a 2, 8 pair, a 3, 7 pair, and a 4, 6 pair. And if this was any of those pairs, it would break the relevant cell, which is a little more theoretical, hypothetical, and complicated. But it still yields the same sort of thing. Now, 1, 9 there and 1, 9 there, they're an X-wing of 1, 9s, which means they've used up the 1s and 9s in rows 8 and 9. The 1 and 9 in row 7 must be in this box here, in box 8, and I know they're in those 2 cells because that sees both of a 1, 9 pair. We need another 1 or 9 in this box. It can't be on the line, it's got to be there. Let's keep going with 1s and 9s because we're getting very close to a finish on marking them in the grid. Although I might get stuck at this point. That can't be one of them, and that can't, and these can't. So they're either in both of those cells or in these 2 cells, because once one goes on the X, the other can't, and once one misses the X, the other can't. Now, if they're on those 2 cells, then this pair would, yes, the question I should have asked is where do 1s and 9s go in row 5? Not here, because there's 1 and 9 in the box. Not on the lines, because they're not allowed on lines. Not there, because that would put another one on the line. So we're left with 4 cells. But this end one sees a 1, 9 pair. So now we're left with 3 cells. One of the 1 and 9 must go on this X, and therefore both go on it. And now these have been ruled out from box, whatever this is, box 6. So the remaining one in row 4 is there. And then there's 1, 1 or 9 in one of these cells. It's quite likely to be in the circle, but I don't know that for sure. What I do know for sure is we've seen 1 and 9 in that row. We can't put 1 and 9 there. This cell has been marked with non-1s and 9s. The 2 1s and 9s in this box can't all go in they're in these 4 cells. They can't both go in the top row because they would kill that cell. So one of them goes here. I know what number that is. And that, first of all, unwinds my V. Then I think it's going to have a very significant effect on unwinding all the 1 9s in the puzzle, i.e. disambiguating which one is which. So let's see how we do. I might actually then get stuck at the top. No, that 9 reaches across here. Actually, that between line would have done that one. Then I get this as a 9. Now, I've got to find a 1 in this box. It's not there or there because of this 1 9 pair. It's not there because of that. It's not on the line because it's not allowed to be on the line. So it's on that cell. And this is not a 1 or 9. And annoyingly, therefore, I'm not going to be able to unwind that pair. I don't think I can even unwind this pair. And I think in both cases, they are going to get unwound, those apparent deadly patterns, by between lines issues. Anyway, we got those 1s and 9s. They didn't really have much impact on the rest of the puzzle, but they had to be solved. This 4, however, has an impact on this X, which becomes a 3 7 pair. Everything else in the box is now 2, 5, 6 or 8. Not very interesting, I hear you say. This digit is 5, 6 or 8. Oh, these 2 circles are not going to be 1 or 9. So again, like the really long line, they're going to be from slightly interior digits, maybe 2 and 8, which will constrain these cells in their tight spot. And I don't know what's going to happen there. Now, what else am I missing? That can't be a 4 by Sudoku now. Okay, let's maybe think about this pair. I don't have many other digits apart from 1s and 9s in this puzzle, so I don't have a reason to think that either of these cells, for instance, couldn't be a 2. Okay. Now, yes, I can use another lovely technique, and I'm going to get this cell. Do feel free to pause the video, think about why that is. I'm going to know what's in that. And the reason is because I've learned that these circles aren't 1s and 9s. Therefore, the extreme digits they can be are 2 and 8. And they may not be those digits, but those are the extremes they could be. And therefore, the only digits that can possibly appear on the line are the digits 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. 2 and 8 can't be on the line in between those circles. And of course this cell is on that line, so it can't be 2 or 8. That is a 6. And that's very neat and I'm sure deliberate. Now one of these must be a 7 or an 8 because we've got 6 on the line, so we need a digit higher in the circles. Now that either means this is a 7, which has impacts on both of these x's. This can't be an 8 because it sees that, and this cell sees that. So if that's not a 7, that's an 8. I don't know how to pencil mark that collocation of circumstances. I'm not even going to try. But I'm going to try and remember it. Now, in fact, on this bottom row, I've placed 6, 4 and 7 for definite, a 1, 9 pair. So everything else is 2, 3, 5 or 8. And this cell can't be a 5. And this cell can't be a 2 or a 3. The 3 because of the 3, 7 pair sitting up there. I think this ought to be easier than I'm finding it. No, I've got it. Okay. What else doesn't go on this line? 2 and 8 never goes on this line now. That's so important. So 2 and 8 in this box are in those two cells. In fact, we can write in which is which. This is a 3, 5 pair. That's getting quite interesting. We'll come back to that line in a moment. We know what's in this circle because of the 8 on its between line, and that unwinds the 9, 1, the first 9, 1 deadly pattern. We still have this one to go. But now 3, 5 and 6 are on this line, so 2 has to be in one of the circles and 7 or 8 in the other. So this one is either 2 or 8. This one actually sees an 8 and a 2 now, so that's the 7. That means 2 is in the other end circle. And all the lines on this tight spot, all the digits on this line, which I think is one of the tight spots in the title of the puzzle, are from 3, 4, 5 and 6. I'm going to mark them up in a moment after I've done this X and this X. And now, what am I saying? We're on 3, 4, 5 and 6. So actually I can fill in 3 and 5 in that box. These are now from 4, 5 or 6 here, but hang on, that's become a 5. I think Sudoku is really going to come to the fore. That's now a 4, 6 pair. This is 3 or 5 and I can't resolve that. Actually, so's that for the column. So this is a 2, 7 pair. I'll be back to you in a moment. I can put in 8 there. I'm mixing Sudoku with the constraints I'm noticing, but I think we're just firing through now, to be honest. There's loads done in this puzzle. Let's do the 3, 4, 5, 6 business again. These are from 3, 4, 5. They can't be 6. That one can't be 3. This is from 3, 4, 5, 6. And these two are from 3, 4, 5, 6. That one's 4 or 6. This one's 3, 4 or 5. Now I've got a triple in this row, so I just need to place 2 and 7. That's not a 2. 2, 1, 9, 6, 3, 4, 5 triple makes that an 8. We can place 7 in the box. This has now become 3 or 5. Oh, that doesn't give us a triple here, surprisingly. But lots of things are coming together now. I think the puzzle's getting solved. It's good, this. 3, 7, 2, a 1, 9 pair, and 8. So that's 6, and then there are 4 and 5 still to place in the column. That 6 means we can place 8 in a circle, and in fact finish box 2. That's a 4, 6 pair, that's a 3, 7 pair. Now we've got 8 in the circle, that end. So this is a lower digit, it's lower than 6. And this digit is not 1, 9, 2, 8, 7 or 6. That's 3 or 5. This has to be lower than that. So it's 2, 3 or 4. But it sees a 4, 6 pair in its column, so it's now 2 or 3. These have to be higher than that, so they are from 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I wish I knew a little more, but maybe that would teach me more. Well, it doesn't, but now I've thought about where to put 8 in this row, it's very clear. It has to go here now. Can't be on the X, because this can't be a 2. In fact, this can't be a 5. And 3, 4, 6 or 7 there is sitting opposite 3, 4, 6 or 7 on the other side, which can't be 6 or 7, so that one can't be 3 or 4. But it also can't be 6, because that is also seeing that 4, 6 pair. So 7 there, 3 there. That's going to give me 5 over the other side of the puzzle, and 3. That 3 looks at this circle, which becomes a 2. This is a 7. That's a 2. I now know this can't be a 9, because this between cell would have to be an 8, and it can't be. So this is 1. That unwinds my last 1, 9 deadly pattern. This is a number between 1 and 7 that's not 2, 3, 4 or 5. Knowledge bomb. It's 6. That's not a 5, that's 4 or 6, so this is not 4 because we've got the pair in the column. Now we've got a 3, 5 pair in the column. We can do 7. This is 2 or 8, and I can see from the row that it's 8. That is not 3. Actually, that's part of a 4, 5 pair with this. And that is going to sort out all sorts of things. We've got 7 and 8 in the central box. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. This is a 5, not a 1, which I mistyped. That is not 1, 5, 7, 9, 2, 8. This is 3, 4 or 6. It has to be 3 by Sudoku, actually. So that's 4 or 6. This is also 4 or 6. Now, the remaining unwinding may be down to between lines. No, I don't think it is. I think we've done everything on a between lines satisfactorily. So I've just got to spot what I'm missing. 4, 5 pair there sorts out 3 and 5. Then, oh, maybe there might be an X that I haven't finished, or a V. Only that one. This must be very obvious. Sorry. This 4, 5. Yes, I've got a 5 there, haven't I? Sitting right next to a cell marked with 4 or 5. That's the sort of pencil marking fail that I'm so capable of. It's just painful. 6, 4, 6, 4, and I think we're done. And that's a lovely puzzle. Not too difficult, but just good fun all the way through. So I really enjoyed that. Again, as always, by the time, not as always, but as often, by the time you solve it, the link I provide will have a solution attached with it, so it'll confirm if you get it right when you've solved it. And I'm sure you'll solve it in a lickety-split time, faster than Pooh got out of that rabbit hole anyway. Thank you, as always, for watching the channel, even though you sometimes have to put up with bears of very little brain, like myself and Simon. I shall look forward to seeing you again soon. Have a great day. Bye for now.